Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, fam. How are you? I'm doing okay. Probably better than okay, but it's Monday for me, and I'm tired. Did 3 hours of weed whacking yesterday, which is exhausting. It's exhausting. And I have plantar fasciitis in my feet, which when I'm standing for long periods of time, they hurt badly for days afterwards, which is part of why I'm glad that I was able to transition from my last job as a cutting machine operator, standing on a concrete floor all day, to pre-press designer, where I get to sit most of the time. I did get a standing desk so that I can stand if I want to, but I've discovered that I have a hard time like thinking hard and standing at the same time. Which sounds bananas, but I'm not the only one on my team that feels that way. One of the veterans on the team that, like, he's been working for this company for 35 years, I think. He also has a standing desk that he never uses because he also finds it harder to think hard when he's standing. That's so funny. But anyway, so my feet are generally happier in this new position, although I worry that I'm not getting nearly enough exercise now. I do walk more because the building I work in is a little further away from my bus stop, and there's a nice hill in my walk between my bus stop and work, both directions. It's an overpass. So I do get a little bit of exercise. I'm not totally sedentary, but it's not a lot. And yeah. So anyway, that's how I'm doing. And on the note of exercise, I realized that I told a couple stories about when I was a teenager and had problems with my lungs that caused me to collapse on the track field, get yelled at by my track coach and walk off the field, and then also have lung spasm during a swim meet in the pool. And then I also told a story about how I injured my knees running 7 miles, and no explanation on how I went from not being able to run a mile without collapsing to being able to run 7 miles. Well, I read a book around the time it came out. I feel like I was in my 30s. It was called Born to Run. And it's a really entertaining book. And I was not a runner when I read it. I think I heard about it on NPR, maybe. I don't remember how I heard about it, but I decided to read it, and it was really entertaining. Like, even if you're not a runner, it's a really fun read. But it talks a lot about ultra runners, like people who do ultra marathons, like 100 miles and more, and how our bodies are built to run and all kinds of stuff. And it inspired me to start running. But, you know, my asthma and my exercise-induced bronchial spasms was prohibitive. So I looked up how to start like conditioning your lungs, and I began by running for 30 seconds and then walking for 5. And I would have a hard time during those 30 seconds, and it would take me about 5 minutes to catch my breath. But over time, the 30 seconds got easier, and I was able to bump it up to a minute. And then, also over time, it took less time to catch my breath. So I'd bump it up to a minute, 30 seconds of running, and maybe 4.5 minutes of walking. And slowly, just as I was comfortable, I didn't push myself at all, I worked my way, I narrowed the gap until it was just all running and no walking was necessary to catch my breath. Now, unfortunately, the only thing I was concerned about was my lungs. I never thought in a million years that my tendons or muscles would be a problem. And so that is how I went from having severe wheezing when I was running to being able to run 7 miles comfortably breathing, but ultimately injuring the tendons in my knees. And the itch to run has really been bugging me again. And when I was running back then, I did want to run a marathon, and it's been niggling at me again. But this time, if I do start running again, I'm gonna have to like really look into how to protect my knees when doing so. And I would have to start all over with the running 30 seconds and walking 5 minutes again. My lungs are not in great shape right now. Cardiovascularly, because I just don't get a ton of cardiovascular exercise. Fast walking between my bus stop and work is about all I do. And sometimes between a bus stop and home, if I have 2 buses I can catch. One drops me off like right in front of my house, and the other one drops me off a few blocks away. And down, like I have to walk uphill to get home. And lately I've been catching that one more often than not. So I'm getting a little extra exercise, which is good. But yeah, I don't know why the running is coming back to me. Well, I did really enjoy it. Like once I got into it, and once I was able to get past the walking part, especially, I felt so free. I could not believe how far I could go, how quickly. I mean, and I'm not like a fast runner. I was not pushing myself. That's the other thing. Like when my coach was yelling at me and all the times I collapsed, I was really pushing myself to win a race. And I wasn't doing that when I was running. I was running just to run, just because it felt good, just because it was fun, just because I loved the idea of my feet taking me wherever I wanted to go. And I found cool places when I was running. I found a beach park near my house I didn't know existed. Because I wouldn't plan a route. I would just pick a direction and start going, and I would just go wherever my feet wanted to go. And one day when I was running, I saw a sign, like just a regular little street sign, but it said such and such park to the right. And I was like, I'm gonna go check out that park. And it was down a huge hill, and I was like, oh God, this is gonna suck to come back up. But I followed it to the end, and I discovered I have this amazing beach park, like in my neighborhood, within walking, running, biking distance of my house. It's not like super close. I think it's a couple miles, but it's not super far either. And I've taken my e-bike there, and that's great. Getting back up that long, steep hill is much easier with the e-bike. It's not easy. Like I still have to pedal, but it's yeah, it's much easier than, like, there's no way in hell in my current state of fitness that I could get up and on a normal bike without the um electronic assistance. Um but yeah. And then so I found the park when I was running, and I found this really cool road that's like all windy and tree lined, that goes to another beach in my neighborhood. That one doesn't have a park though. It has houses really close to the shore that I wonder about their longevity with the rising sea levels, because like they are right across the street from the beach at, like, I don't know, 2 feet elevation. It might be a little higher, but it's like nothing. Yeah. I don't think those houses are long for this world. But anyway, I found that road. Yeah, I found a huge park going in the other direction. It's like a massive park near my house that I had no idea existed until I started running. And it was just because I was going slow enough that I was able to, like, notice things on my path and get curious about them. Whereas, like, when you're driving, you just pass things by a lot of times. You have no idea, like, what you're even going by. And even on a bike, I think that can be true. But when you're running, you're totally going slow enough, and you don't have to, like, pay as much attention to, like, what your wheels are doing on a bike. You don't have to be as concerned about road hazards. You have much more time to see, like, trip hazards or whatever in the road, and adjust your trajectory so you can avoid them easily. On a bike, you have to be much more aware of what's directly in front of you than you do when you're running. And so you're able to, like, look around and see the world around you and get curious about it. And so, yeah, I do miss it. And it's just one of those things that I don't think I've even written in my journal about. It's just been kind of hiding out in the back of my mind, and just kind of nudging me every so often. And but I just kind of kept forgetting about it until I realized that I'd told these stories of my lungs failing me, and then I'd also told a story where I ran 7 miles, and I was like, those two things probably need an explanation. Hang on, I forgot my bandana and my earrings. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I started reading a new book yesterday that I was watching a career coach Mandy video a couple weeks ago, and she mentioned this book, Writing Down the Bones by Natalie Goldberg. And I was like, that sounds super familiar. Do I have that book? I think I have that book. And I looked at my little writing shelf. I'll take a picture of my crazy art and writing desk. And I'll put it here, maybe, when I'm watching it back. But I did have that book because I I joined a year-long writing group a couple years ago. It was put on by the same woman who I did the Artist's Way groups with. And I can't remember how many books there were, like maybe 6 different books by different writers on writing. There were a couple by Julia Cameron, and I don't think I've read both of them yet either. I'm not going to pull them out. Stephen King's book on writing, which I also have and have not read. I might read that one after Natalie Goldberg's. But earrings. But career coach Mandy was saying how great of a book it was, and so I pulled it out and I started reading it yesterday, and I'm excited about it because, well, I'm not sure that I want to be a writer, although I'm not sure I don't want to be either. I'll put a picture of my journals up again. I write a lot. I do. And I have considered writing a memoir, although now that I'm doing this practice, I don't know if that's necessary. We'll see. But I figured that just the way I'm doing this practice, the video vlogging practice, I'm having a hard time getting there we go. Yay. I figured I could take Natalie's advice with vlogging. I don't think it applies just to writing. And yeah, she recommends doing a writing practice of a set time every day and just filling it with writing, where you don't edit yourself, you don't cross anything out, you don't worry about grammar, you don't worry about spelling, punctuation, any of that, and you just write your first thoughts down, you don't second guess, and you go as fast as you can, and no looking back, like you just go. And that's how I've been doing these vlogs, really. I do sometimes write things down that I want to talk about, like I take notes, and I put like little bullet points next to them, but it's definitely not a script. It's just like things I'm thinking about, so that if I run out of steam or like lose track of where I am in a video, then I have something that can like get me going again. But that's all it is a prompt, really. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the book so far. I only read I read the 2 forewords, the preface, and the first chapter yesterday. But so far, so awesome. And I think that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here, especially if you're all the way at the end. I love you. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be wealthy, and may you feel at ease. Until next time, bye-bye.